As much as Cindy and I love to play on the rocks, it has always been our love of the desert and our passion for exploring it that brought us into the world of Jeeps. It is for this reason that we always try to spend the first weekend of January taking friends out into the Mojave Desert and to show them some of the amazing places and things that we've found over the years. On this particular trip, we took them out to an area known as Crucero. To kick off our trip, we headed east along historic Route 66, turned north onto dirt, and then made our way toward the base of the Caddy Mountains. While many of our runs do have minimum requirements, all Jeeps, bone stock to built up, are welcome to join us on a run like this, and I even make sure to let everyone know that they probably won't need to shift into four-wheel drive once the whole day long. All right, Tim or Jana, I know you guys have been doing your research, so please explain to us where we are and why are we here.
Is she filming?
We're at the Phantom F4 crash site, and
Which
we're here
crashed
to see.
on New Year's Day, 1964.
The pilot lived, though. The pilot ejected when he felt there was problems with the plane, and the plane crashed.
And you know what the funny thing about it we were talking about there?
What's up?
New Year's Day, 1964. I was born August 23rd. She was born September 14th.
No kidding.
We know what our parents were doing around New Year's Day when this guy crashed. Okay, turn the camera off.
Coming in at a high rate of speed and at a very low angle, the F4 Phantom that crashed here left a huge impact crater in the sand, and pieces of the wreckage can still be found scattered throughout the area. You can see there's one of the turbines right there. Oh, if you look right here into the sand, you can see this depression in the hillside. This is the actual impact point of the F4 Phantom when it hit and just threw all its debris in the direction behind me. After leaving the crash site, we followed a power line road to the east and then dropped into a wide expanse known as the Broadwell Valley. We just turned off onto our main route that's going to be cut through the Broadwell Dry Lake. It's hard to imagine now, but about 12,000 years ago, this valley was once lush with vegetation and the bottom of it was filled with water. Today, the Broadwell Dry Lake is just a dusty playa that's about a mile in width and about 4 miles in length. And with a group as big as ours, it makes a perfect place to take a group shot. As Lieutenant Pete Mitchell once said in the movie Top Gun, I think I'm feeling the need for speed.
I think we're going across. Rocky on the left right there. Put it down right now. Put it down. Somebody on the right there is flying. 83.
That is so cool. It's getting dustier than hell back there. Just to give you a heads up, we're coming towards the end of the lake. As fun as it was pushing our bricks in the wind as fast as they could go, it was time for us to move on to the next cool destination of the day. We are at the Mojave Megaphone. There's this crazy steel tube that looks like either a scope on a rifle or a drum. It's sitting up on top of these rocks, halfway between the 15 and the 40, near a town called Crucero. Why is it here? There's been a lot of speculation as to what this thing really is, who made it, and how it got here. And for all the research that I've done, all I can say is, I don't have a clue. From what I've gathered, it's more likely a drum than a megaphone, but I've always looked at it as being a kind of generator. A generator of theories and ideas, as that's what it seems to do best. Following the old Tonopah and Tidewater Railroad grade, we continued our trek to the north and then headed west until we reached the mouth of Afton Canyon. Thanks to a series of winter storms, the trail leading into the canyon was washed out and a little finesse was needed to make the drop in. As we entered Afton Canyon and started the final leg of our trip, we came across something completely unexpected and worthy of an unscheduled stop. I think I found it. Hey Tim, I think I found it.
Is it big enough?
Yeah, I think the recent storm must have uncovered it because you could see where the water had worn it away.
Wow.
Cindy and I had always known about an old boxcar that was supposed to be buried in the sand, and even though we knew the approximate location of where it should be, we had never been able to find it, or at least not until now. I honestly think that we never saw it because it was buried under all this sand and brush, but because of the recent storms, you could see that the boxcar that we've been looking for years has finally been unearthed. You could see it just fell right off the tracks, which are up above.
This is an interesting sight. Some years ago, there was a bad flood in Afton Canyon. After the water had receded, the top of an old railroad boxcar that had been buried in the sand was exposed. The mystery is what happened, when and if any cargo remains in the mostly buried car. Both are near the existing railroad tracks. Do you know the answer to this mystery?
But we want to know the answer.
That is all the information this book gives.
But it's funny that it got uncovered before during a flood, right?
Yes.
And then here we are. This is right after that big storm we had come through. And now it's unearthed again.
Totally useless, this book.
It just
It got us here.
Just as the sun was starting to set, we pulled into our final destination of the day, Spooky Canyon. If you guys have a flashlight, you want to bring it. More of a thin crack than a wide open canyon, what makes a hike up Spooky Canyon so much fun is that the walls quickly close in around you, and to the point where it feels like you're scrambling up a long dark tunnel and one that's about ready to crumble in on you. We have to go back.
Oh, this is way cool.
Sunsets in the Mojave. Who could ask for a better sight, especially after re-emerging from the depths of Spooky Canyon? With the sun long gone and darkness filling the canyon, it was time to head out and make our way back to pavement.
We're not on moving yet, so we're just about. There's 4 or 5 behind me.
It's a funny thing how so many of our trips turn out to be night runs, even though we never planned them to be one. Of course, when you're having so much fun, it's hard not to stay out until the streetlights come on. Or should I say, until we needed to turn our headlights on. While the sandy bottom of Afton Canyon is normally firm enough to traverse in two-wheel drive, the recent flooding left behind pockets of what felt like quicksand, and that made navigating across it a bit more challenging, to say the least. Oh, it's getting really deep here. Make sure you're in four-wheel drive to keep your momentum going.
That was close from there. Oh, I was thinking, dude. Someone's stuck in the mud.
As we would soon find out, it wasn't just someone who got stuck. Everyone was getting stuck.
Hey, are you filming me?
Hoping things weren't as bad as they looked, we decided to hook Tim up to a strap and give him a couple of tugs. Seeing that we were starting to dig in and were in danger of getting stuck ourselves, we decided to just break out the winch. Now buried up to his axle, Tim's Jeep had effectively become an anchor, and if there was any hope of getting him out, we'd have to do some digging. With some of the heavy wet sand cleared from under his Jeep, and with the help of a second winch, we were finally able to pull him out.
Okay, guys, stand clear.
There we go. Come on.
There we go, there we go! Keep going, keep your racing!
It's winning.
Thanks to all the rains that we've been having, the sand in here is really soft, really silty. Everyone's been getting stuck. Jeep cache right here got really buried in deep. We just got done using 2 Jeeps, 2 winches to get him out. We're ready to roll again now.
With everyone out of the muck and on the move again, we were finally able to make our way to the end of Afton Canyon and start our climb out of it. Crossing the Mojave River at its deepest point and for the very last time, we found ourselves at the end of our trail and at the end of our very first epic wheeling adventure of the year. Spanish for the word cross or crossroads, Crucero is an area out in the middle of the Mojave Desert that's rich in history, filled with mystery, and for our purposes, it was the location of where we would choose to cross into a new year of wheeling and with almost 40 other Jeeps. While it did take a bit more effort to run and a lot longer than I think any of us had expected, I don't know if I could say there was a single person complaining. In the end, we were with good friends, having a great time, and really, this is what we live for. It is, after all, a way of life. As always, keep the shiny side up, all 4 on the floor, and with any luck, we'll see you on the trail.